Hi everybody and welcome back. Now I hope you're all getting this beautiful weather that we've been having for the last 10 days to a week. It's been in the mid-20s for the last 3 or 4 days now, so really big turnaround from what it was about 2 or 3 weeks ago when we had a couple of frosts here and it was really grey and wet and cold. So yeah, a real turnaround and a real boost for the garden. Everything's really starting to go for it now. So I'm going to do a garden tour video today and have a look around and see what's happening in the garden. Right, let's have a look. Right, so we'll start off here at the side of the house like always. Got the New Zealand privet edge that I'm growing up to become a nice little windbreak for the garden. So that's growing really well now, really getting into its stride. Got this little bed in the side of the house that's shaded for quite a lot of the day. So we've got some elephant's ears in here, an Eton hoster, which, you know, would be so much better if they didn't like them so much, but you can't do anything. Got this creamy and green phormium, doesn't grow very high, decent in the back of the border there. My yucca which flowered a couple of years ago now and it's starting to get some good growth on it, so that's looking a lot better because last year it was just a stick and a bit of growth coming out, so that's a lot better now. The acanthus is growing really well this year and I really do love these leaves. I mean, this plant does spread, you can see it's starting to spread, but it's fine contained in here. Starting to get a bit of a flower on it now as well. So yeah, that's looking good this year. Really nice leaves. A bit like a philodendron type leaves, I think, but fully hardy. We've got the fats here that's been chucking out leaves for over a month now. Really nice exotic big leaves. You can see it's shaded now, but it will get sun a bit later on. There's a bit of sun coming at the back now as it moves around the houses, so that will be in full sun. That's why it is a bit more yellow than what I'd like it to be, but I put it in this spot without really knowing, so but it'll be absolutely fine there. Brunner putting out a few little leaves in this shady spot. Nice little plant, likes lovely slugs again, but they are starting to leave it now as it gets a bit bigger. I mean, look at that beautiful white foliage on that. I divided me Miscanthus cosmopolitan, I think this one is. Really nice variegated foliage on that. So I'm excited now to get this into a nice edge. I just have one plant at the back there which you couldn't really see because I used to have this wall here as well, so the wall's gone now. I've got a nice little row of that, and the Miscanthus giganteus that I moved, showed you in that video, that's starting to grow away well now, so that'll be good. And I've got another one on this side. And taking that wall down, I really like this started to grow properly now, because it was always restricted. You can really see, nice little plant, spreads quite a lot. You can see how it's spread through here, but it's fine in this spot. I'll just keep it restricted. And again, nice little sort of like Jurassic Park leaves on that, I think. Flowers as well. Got the Washingtonia robusta. You can see it's a bit damaged from winter, the old leaves, but the new leaves are absolutely green. I've started feeding the palms now, so that should come back pretty well. They've all got new spears on, no spear pull. Kept it in an unheated greenhouse over winter, so it's done fine. Real tempted to get that in the ground, but we'll have a look at that later. So yeah, this is probably going to be quite a long video, so sit back and get a drink. We have got the Trachycarpus fortunei over here. That got moved a couple of times, but it's starting to kick out a couple of leaves now, a couple of fronds at a time. Red hot poker in there, can't really see it. The daylilies really need sorting out, cutting, dividing up really. I moved a couple of alliums from somewhere else in the garden, they're starting to flower now. This Persicaria pink elephant, I think it's called. Looks like a dock leaf. It's starting to flower now, and that is, and I did divide that and move it around the garden, and it's coming up everywhere. I didn't remember how much I'd spread it about, but a nice plant. The Boutia odorata really starting to kick this leaf out now, and the next one's starting to open, so growing pretty well, pretty fast. Got a bit of damage it from a couple of winters. These leaves are a couple of years old now, but again that's doing fine. I just wanted to get a bit of a trunk now. I brought out all my exotics as well, so I've got the Phoenix Robellini outside, perfectly fine. Did take a bit of suffering over winter. I kept it in the house, I think it was too dry, but since I brought it outside and adding it off, it's growing absolutely fine now. Plenty of new spears on it, so it's nice and happy. This is a clerodendron. Again, nice leaves on that, gets really nice flowers on it, nice little shrub. It's started to grow really well over the last couple of years, so that'll be one to watch. Hopefully gets a lot of growth on it this year. I moved my hardy hibiscus from somewhere else in the garden to here. It's starting to leaf out now, which is good. Probably the most exotic flowering plant that you can grow, I'd say. And this is hardy. This gets no protection. Absolutely fine. Got the echinops, all the bluebells are in flower. Nice little lucra there, red foliage with the greens, looks really well. This is a Judas tree, Cercis, starting to flower now. I'm sure that had pink flowers on it the other year. I'll probably be wrong. But again, that should do well in this spot. Nice little tree, little leaves on it. And the gunner is doing pretty well this year. If you didn't know, my garden is pretty poor soil, really well drained, so not ideal for the gunner, but we're getting some pretty big leaves on it this year. Another one here. It's got a flower spike on it, which I'm going to cut off. I'd rather it grew bigger leaves. And to be fair, I water this once a week. I do neglect it really. Not my biggest, not my favourite plant, but it's doing fine after all the wet that we had in the spring. Got a big cardoon there, plenty of them in the garden. I like the silvery foliage on the plants. It continues up there. The Miscanthus giganteus, I put some of it back in its original spot, and that's growing well now. Everything on the pond's starting to grow. Another plant which shouldn't do well in this garden is a Rogacea. Likes wet conditions, but it always grows pretty well, to say. Putting out some flowers. I think that looks really well next to the Boutia. Hopefully the Boutia gets a lot bigger, and then this will shade this out a bit. But again, it's starting to spread itself around a bit, so it seems to be happy. Now I've decided to plant my Yucca rostrata in the ground here. Really happy with how it looks in this spot. It's just that I've got like the spiky of the Boutia, then the big leaves of the Rogacea, then the spiky of the Yucca. Put a few aeoniums in round it. I'm not really sure about them being in there. I think they look better on mass aeoniums, but I'll keep them for this year. They will be dug up at the end of the year anyway. Nice little fern there, and the Xanthodecia, which doesn't really do. So I've made it my mission this year to hit that magical 1,000 subscriber mark, and there's a way that all you watching today can help me do that. So if you're watching this video and you're not subscribed, then please think about hitting that subscribe button. It really will help the channel and help me to get it to where I want it to be, help it grow. And if you're already subscribed, then keep hitting that like button like you have been doing. But yeah, it doesn't cost you anything to subscribe, so please hit that subscribe button right now. Thank you. Doesn't really do very well for me. Kicking a few leaves out, hopefully it'll flower this year. Dragonfly. Now, I had a pot here which I've took away now, and I'm thinking about putting this Cycas revoluta in there. Not sure yet, I'm just going to live with it a bit in this spot. I did think about putting the Washingtonian in there, but thinking ahead to winter protection, I think that'll be a lot easier to protect there. So yeah, I think I'm going to leave it a couple of days, but I think I'm going to put that in that spot. I'm really going to do this area because it's gone a lot just to flowers. I've been unsure of what to put in there really, so I am going to do this area once I get some more plants to put in. So we'll just come back round here now. So this is where I put most of my aeoniums. I put them in here the last couple of years. So they're all around here. I think they do look good en masse. They'll grow really well in this spot. And I did notice that this palm did spaple, but there is a new frond coming, I can feel that. So I think that'll be absolutely fine. I don't know why it's spapled, because it were under cover all winter in a pot. So hopefully it will be fine. Got the big lilies there, the amazing smelling lilies. The Salvia amistad looks like it's going to come back. Hopefully it will, because that's a beautiful plant. Got a Zebrinus grass here, which isn't really putting on its usual colours. Normally it's all like this, and a lot of them are just plain green for some reason. I've got Persicaria running through there with my Camerock Volcano. Hopefully that'll put on a bit of growth this year. Doesn't really ever do anything. Now this banana, I did the video of me splitting this banana up from the main one, and this has got a huge leaf on it this year, and it's very protected in this spot, so this leaf has stayed unripped. So hopefully it can start out for a while. I mean, just look at the size of that leaf. Pup's doing well as well. We've got a new leaf coming. Really exciting at this time of year. This is what I absolutely love. May, I think May's a really good month, although it does go very quick. It's a 51 day a month, but it goes so quick. I mean, we're halfway through already. This is my biggest aeonium. This flowered last year. It flowered back to this spot, and it just died from that bit, and it's starting to regrow. So that's good. It will green up that eventually. And just look how well this Fatsia is doing. This spot here just gets sun on it right at the end of the day in the summer. And look at how green these leaves are. It is really loving it in this spot. Covered in black fly though. Ants on it as well. But yeah, that one and that one are doing really well now. The Dicentra is still flowering. Been flowering for about a month and a half that now. I've put my Bird of Paradise out, so hopefully that can do well again. It always does well in this spot. You can see this is where the next leaf will come from. It probably will put one leaf out a year. That's what it normally does. So it's good to get all the tropicals in. That Fatsia again doing really well. Both of these bought for about £4 or something like that. This hosta, it never gets really touched by the slugs for some reason. I don't like it to come down here. Another fern. See how we'll go round. The arch has been moved to here now because it blew down from here in the winter. All them winter storms, all a distant memory now. Got the bamboo in the pot. Always gets neglected, but never seems to die off. It always does alright. The Mahonia soft caress, really nice Mahonia this. No spikes on it. Does really well in this spot. Likes the bit of shade. And this Fatsia polycarpa is doing really well this year. Normally it gets eaten at the start and all the leaves come out disfigured, but I found what were on it and I took that off and the leaves have come out pretty good. You see this little bit of, it's almost like resin here. Well, that's what does it. I managed to get a load of it off at the start and the leaves have come out really well. I mean, look at all them leaves coming out of there. A bit more hosta in there. And the variegated Fatsia variegata, again doing really well. Just that little bit of variegation on the end of the leaves. Loads of new leaves coming out here. Got 3 different growing points, because when it flowers that dies down and it all splits off from there. Tetrapanax is doing its thing. Pretty big leaves on that, but still no pups. But I did run the L underneath there the other day, try and disturb the roots, get it to pup. So I'm really desperate for this to pup now. One thing that hasn't come back is me Arundodonax, which is down there. I can't see any signs of life there yet, so just to keep watching out for that. Nice trachea there. Should do absolutely fine. I brought out the little boutia palms that I've got. All the agaves. Doing absolutely fine. No losses in the winter in here. Little agave Shakazulu. I'm not going to go too much into the arid bed. Got the aloe. No, I forgot the name of that. Aloe striatula. Out on the tip of my tongue. Hopefully that'll do well this year and flower. You can see we've got loads of new heads on it, so I'm thinking about propagating this, although I might leave it another year. Really nice plant this. It's spiky but they don't stick in you. Really nice little plant that. And that is completely untouched after winter, no protection on it at all. So it is definitely truly hardy. Plenty of new fronds on there. I'll just show you me. Got this Cameropsu millis, which I thought I had winter damage on, but I think it is some sort of fungus. So I think I will need to treat that, because you can see it in there on the new leaves. I have put some spray on it, but whether it's the right spray or not, I don't know. So I think it is some sort of fungus that. Let's have a quick look at the arid bed. Everything growing away fine. The Ferox, the only one that I thought might have been damaged, is now kicking out this new leaf, so that'll go into that gap there. Completely dried up now, so that will be fine. And you can see even the new leaf is starting to come away. Really amazing growth on that. And the Americana. And a new plant that I've got, this olive, believe it or not, cost me £10. They had 3 of them at £10 because they were slightly damaged after the winter. And if I had a room in the car, I bought all 3. But yeah, for a 10, I mean, big trunk on it. And then it's just, you know, since I put it in the ground, it's really greened up and you can see all the new leaves coming, so it's going to be absolutely fine. Probably about 60 quid worth of olive there. Torbay Dazzle that I moved. The top's died off. Don't know whether that'll come back. But it is growing again from the bottom here. Move it out of the way. So if I come back round to this bed, another Trachycarpus fortunii. And you can see I'm going to get the canopy, so you'll be able to walk through there soon. We've really got to plan ahead in the garden. And the plan was for the canopy here, so that is going to happen soon. Red hot poker starting to flower. Real exotic flowers on them. And another plant which shouldn't do well, but does, is the Damera peltata. Another bog loving plant, but you can see how much it's spreading round. It's finished flowering now. It flowers first But yeah, it's doing really well. Seems to like it. I put out my Musa dwarf Cavendish today as well. So we'll see how that does. Never really does well for me. Like I said, the garden's too well drained, soil's not good enough for it. So I might end up selling that. Cordyline, no damage over winter. This is starting to flower. Nice blue flowers on that, purpley blue. So not really that much happening in here. Got a lot of daylilies. These iris have really spread this year. But really nice exotic flowers. So I've actually got a dahlia in there. So this time, last year this was just across here. So it's gone right out there. So yeah, I'll have to move that back next year. The dahlia's coming in somewhere down there. It looks as though my Enamourus is going to flower. I've kept you've got to keep the roots exposed to the sun, to bake in the sun, so it looks like I'm going to get a flower on this. Really impressive flowers on that as well. See how long the flower spike is. There's the Camrops that I cut back, made into a single trunk, and I've planted a load of spider plants around it. I have done it in this big circle. I don't know why I did that. It'd have been better with like a triangle of them around it, but that's what I did. So all them will be dug up anyway, so I'll do it better next year. My gingers haven't started coming back up yet, they're in there somewhere. Got a few canners coming up though. So they've all survived and multiplied because there's 2 in there, 3 in there now I can see, from one plant. Got another hookah. This Cerifera is doing fine, no damage. Plenty of growth on the cardoon. The Milianthus is coming back. That got cut right down, that'll come back with vengeance. This will all be full for Milianthus by the summer. Persicaria, Red Dragon, starting to put on a bit of growth now. Really nice exotic leaves on that. I've brought my Leonidas outside. That'll flower, really amazing flowers on that. Yeah, let's have a look at this. You can see where I cut this back, how much it's grown back already. So if you have done this and you don't like it, don't worry, because it will grow back. And the spider plants do well in full sun. As an house plant, I tell you not to put it in full sun, but outside they do absolutely fine. Just remember to dig them up. Although I have got one that's coming back. My Colocasia Pink China's in here somewhere, can't see that yet, but with all this foliage, it could be in there and I haven't spotted it. So hopefully that'll come back. Plenty of hollyhocks growing. A bit like hibiscus flowers on them. They do spread around everywhere though, but I don't mind them. I actually quite like the look of these leaves. The new olive that I've put in before, getting plenty of growth on it now. They're absolutely fine in this spot, full sun. A Trachycarpus in full flower. Really impressive. Really impressive look on that. Got a few little things in here. Another canna coming through. 2. So there were only 1 in here, so that's doubled. This black grass is starting to spread out a bit as well. Really wanting everything spread so I can spread stuff around the garden now. Another 3 lilies here, and the dreaded lily beetle. That's what you want to get rid of on these. Don't really like taking them off, but you've got to do it. And this is coming back as well, Agapanthus. Everything's starting to really motor away now. Plenty of growth around the garden. Pineapple lilies are starting to come out. Bessionaria in there. I moved that here because I wanted it to be in more sun. And then all these grew and put it in shade. so it'll be fine. That the Jubea chilensis kicking this leaf out now, really slow growing, but we've got another leaf coming behind it. So we've got plenty going on in the garden, loads of growth. Choiceus flowering, Euphorbia's flowering, my new Phoenix cariensis chucking its leaves out there, another one coming, echinops, all sorts of stuff. One of them persicaria that I moved, I didn't even know I moved it to there, it's starting to grow. Not much growth on this yet, the bottle brush, there's plenty of buds on it. Just waiting for them to start growing now. I'm going to cut this back. Persicaria Personal Fantasy, growing well under this tree. I put my Kentia palm, just sunk the pot into the ground. I think that looks really exotic in that spot. Really loving that. And I'm loving the fig leaves as well. You might not think a fig is exotic, but I just think that looks amazing. Just with the bare stem and the leaves on the top, really palmate leaves, so really impressed with that. Put a monstera in the ground, see how that does, one here and one there, so we'll see. And our feet and Brunner are there. Moved a couple of these about, and it's starting to flower, hardy bromeliads. One new frond coming out of this tree fern. Got really damaged a couple of years ago, so hopefully we can get a couple more fronds coming out of there. Paulownia is starting to leaf out now. Another cardoon here. This was the first olive that I bought. You can see it's really starting to chuck plenty of leaves out now. Even right up here, I thought this whole bit were dead, but it's starting to grow on here as well. So yeah, excited to see that grow. Full sun here. Real thick trunk on it now. And a big leaved hoster here. I think the bigger the hoster leaves are, the less the slugs eat them. What I've found. Got maybe my biggest banana here. Although the leaf is probably about as big as the other one. Loads of pups. Loads of pups on that. The Schefflera Taiwaniana. He's just getting on with it. A few new leaves coming out of here. Hopefully that'll do well in this spot. So is the loquat, starting to put out a few new leaves now. This Paulownia will literally come right up here this year. Get huge leaves on it. I've pollarded it right back. And what I pollarded off last year, I'll show you in a minute because I'm amazed. Another Melianthus cut right back, but we'll come back with a vengeance. These are Crocosmia Lucifer, them beautiful red, deep red flowers. And that is starting to spread around, which I'm really happy about. So I'm going to divide that and move that around again because I really want that, more of them. Another fig here, getting a bit eaten from something, I don't know what, but again I just love them leaves. And I've actually got my first fig as well, so I'll try that later on in the year. Another one coming here. Yeah, I just really love the look of them plants. Another big hoster here, red leaves, but then the new ones come out green. This is looking really good. Nice little ground cover. Another Persicaria, and the Schefflera macrophylla, putting out a couple of new leaves, but they are a bit distorted. Doesn't never seem to do really well, that, for some reason. I put out my Begonia luxurians. I put it in this spot last year and it grew really well, so hopefully it can again. Oh, just look at them leaves. Doesn't get much more exotic than that. This tree fern's absolutely flying. All these are new fronds. plenty more coming as well. Just keeps going, I just don't water them enough. Need to water them every day. Probably do them every 3 days or something like that. All the new growth on the Fatsia spider's web. Some of these come out pure white like that, and in a shady spot they really stick out. Then they go more green and variegated. Yeah, I'm hoping that will grow for the sky this year. Stayed quite small. Nice little leucorrhea flower here with this little daisy type flower. Starting to get a bit more colour in the garden now. So yeah, I'm thinking this bit's looking really good. Looking a bit bare at the back, but it won't be soon. This will, trust me, I will do a video in about 2 months and this will just be full of foliage. Pseudopanax moestos putting out a new flush. Beautiful little leaves. Almost look fake. And the catalpa that gets pollarded as well, starting to leaf up now. So yeah, everything's really starting to motor. Looks like we're going to get some rain next week, which I think will be really good for the garden because it has been really hot and dry. All the pineapple lilies in a row here, all starting to come back. Absolutely no protection. This is the Paulonia. Literally a stick that was sat in the shed for 6 months. I looked at it the other day and it's starting to leaf up, so I've put this in some soil. That'd be really good if that grows. I don't think it will. I think it's just the energy what were left in the stick. I just made it stick some new leaves out, but we'll see. Fingers crossed I will have another one of them really huge leaves on it. I brought my rubber plant outside. That'll be going round there where the Kentia palm is, just stunk in the ground. And a new plant that I got as well, a Fatsia camouflage, 20 quid, thought were a really good price. Real different to the variegated Fatsia because it's got a lot more variegation like this one. So yeah, that should do well in a spot nice and shaded. Dappled shade in there, but pretty much sits in full shade all day. Gets a bit of light through the fence in the morning. That should do really well in that spot. The ace is coming into a big tree now, and there's some birds nesting in there somewhere. They normally do. The grapes starting to leaf up. Really cut this back hard last year. Made it 2 single stems because the grapes were sort of splitting, so I won't be able to eat them. Yeah, hopefully this year I get a bit more airflow through because it really was crowded out here. Well, I mean, once this starts growing, it really does shoot for the sky. Loads of growth on it. So yeah, I think that's about it. Loads of growth. Like I say, if we keep up with these hot temperatures, which it looks like it's going to do even into next week when it's going to cool down a bit, it'll still be around about 18 to 20 degrees, and some rain, that'll really get it going because the ground is really wet still, but as it takes a lot of moisture and water to keep a garden like this happy. But yeah, I'm really happy with how it's growing so far. Not as much colour as what I'd normally have in, but that's coming. All the colour tends to be in the jungle bit, which is supposed to be more green, but that's just how it goes. Right, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. Bye.